Hey VC, what's up? All right, part 3 here of R&B response to Matthew Smith's thread. So, I've already done 60s and 70s. I just did 80s, so this is going to be kind of 90s and 2000s, kind of a combination. I don't have a ton of stuff in this particular decade. I shouldn't say decades, I'm kind of crossing over here. But as most of you that probably really know me, know that when it comes to R&B and hip hop, something kind of right after 95-ish just really started to, in the 2000s have really just, last 12, 13 years or so have just absolutely destroyed my faith in all things R&B and rap and hip hop and everything else. I mean, there's a few things here and there that I like, that I kind of jump into, kind of like what's playing in the background right now, which is Mtglied. I mean, Kaleidoscope Dream, I think that's a fantastic album and I love it, but it's very, very few and far between. I even noticed as I was picking these albums and stuff out, as I was doing my 60s and 70s and 80s, I remember thinking, oh, I can't leave that one out, how can I leave that one, I can't. But going through this, I was kind of like, yeah, I'll show that one, So even the stuff that I kind of like, there's just not a lot of excitement about it, Something just really got destroyed for me with R&B and hip hop over the last 15 years or so. But let me show you a few things that I do have. We'll start here. In Vogue, Born to Sing. Of course, everybody knows them. Usher. Again, it's kind of a good example. It's like, there's stuff by Usher that I like, and I think I like the fact that he's one of those guys that still likes to actually perform as an artist, in terms of not only his music, but actually performing. He's such a Michael Jackson wannabe, which is not a bad thing, it's not an insult at all. But still, it's just like, yeah, it's okay, yeah, I like it, yeah, I have a couple of his albums, but just nothing exciting, but still a good album to have. Tony, kind of going back to that New Jack Swing stuff of the late 80s, early 90s. And this is probably one of their more popular, well, I wouldn't say popular tracks, but Feel Good was one of their bigger dance hits. And from Tony, I could never pronounce his last name right, but Raphael Sadiq, when he went solo, this was actually from 2008. And this was really a breath of fresh air because it really was a flashback to some of the older traditional type of R&B. Matter of fact, I think that album cover kind of sums up the flavor that he was going back to, So definitely a breath of fresh air there. The Tony Rich Project, I don't know if I consider this R&B or not, just as much pop as it was R&B. But I did like this song, still like it, and Nobody Knows. Great little breakup song type thing. Neo, again, not a huge, tremendous fan or anything, but there's one or two tracks I think's okay. I think I got this for like $4 before, so it was worth a pickup, 2 LP set. But yeah, again, just I feel kind of like I'm downing this video a little bit, but like I said, this just isn't my biggest genre, but I wanted to share some stuff. And this is the Mtglied I was just telling you about. This is a fantastic album. Definitely another bright spot for me in the R&B type world today. And actually, I learned about Mtglied, really this album, through Secco Funk. He was the one that kind of introduced me to that. So Kevin Little here. Again, a little more towards the dance side of things, but I still have it categorized in my R&B section. He had that song "Turn Me On," which was a pretty cool track too. That's one I definitely liked. John Legend, he's really popular in the face of R&B these days. Definitely a couple of decent songs on here as well. Alicia Keys. Again, she's one that I like a few of her songs here and there. Definitely a couple good songs on this album too. Overall, I think she's somewhat of I'll just leave it at that. Now here's a guy from the late 80s going into the early 90s that I really liked. R. Kelly. I liked his style and a lot of things outside of his personal life. But musically, yeah, he had a lot of really great things. A little, just sprinkle there. But yeah, this is 12 Play from 1993. Probably my favorite album by him. A lot of really, really great tracks on this album. So probably my favorite R. Kelly album right there. Another very good fresher breath air to R&B music in the last 10, 15 years. Anthony Hamilton. This is coming from where I'm from. 12-inch single, which is probably my favorite song by him. But yeah, I mean, a very, very nice, I mean, just a lot of soul in what he does, and it's not keeping up with the times. It's really kind of him letting himself shine through and bringing his old school into the mixture of new school stuff. So he's one of the artists that has definitely kept R&B alive for me. Genuine, you know, another pretty decent artist. Going back to the early 90s again, I think 1990, Johnny Gill, Rub You the Right Way and all that good stuff. Classic stuff. H-Town, I Like the Way, The Kissing Game, another one of those classic tracks from the early 90s. My boys right here, Another Bad Creation, 1990. This is the 12-inch to Aisha. But yeah, another little kid group that made just some, some fun dance to kind of music. So really cool stuff. Mariah Carey, again, I appreciate what she does, appreciate the talent she has. I'm not the gigantic fan, but definitely fan enough to have the stuff that she liked, or stuff about her that I like. We'll Be Together and a lot of other decent tracks on this one here. And I remember with the first bodybuilding competition I did, one of the posing songs I used was Anytime You Need a Friend by Mariah Carey. So I liked her enough to use her in my routine way back when. So another group too that I like them and I like what they do, but I think I respect what they achieve maybe a little more so than I actually like them, and that is TLC. They were kind of a very unique group that did a lot of things different, which I think made them kind of cool, made them kind of special. And this is a copy of Fan Mail. So, gotta make sure to give them props. And my girl right here too, another girl who, even though I don't have a lot of her stuff, I so respect her as an R&B artist. And it's Mary J. Blige. So this is Reflection, kind of a greatest hits album. But yeah, there's just something about her that I've always, from her music to the way that she carries herself and everything else, she just seems very real. Like Mary J. Blige is not a character she's trying to create, like a lot of artists seem to do, but just like, she's just as real as she can be. And I get that impression from the way she carries herself, her music and everything else. And I respect that as much, if not more, than the music itself. So gotta give props to Mary J. A few other ones here which I had on CD, thought I would share. Public Announcement. That was a group I really got into in the 90s. Probably not one of the more popular R&B groups out there, but this is a really good CD with songs like Body Bumpin' and D.O.G. with Roger Troutman from Roger and Zapp. So yeah, a number of good things on that. John B. Just cool, relax. And I mean, this is a pretty decent CD as well. I mean, he has a very smooth delivery in his music, and songs like Shine and Don't Say. I mean, those are really good tracks, good classic tracks. And then my boys, another group that really helped keep R&B alive for me going into the mid to late 90s, when the Isley Brothers came out with Mission to Please. Another fantastic CD here. I mean, of course, everyone knows anything about R&B knows about the Isley Brothers. But everything from Floating on Your Love, Whenever You're Ready, Let's Lay Together, Can I Have a Kiss? I mean, just all kinds of great stuff on this. I think that came out in '96. Lauryn Hill, another great classic. I mean, she really did her thing on this album. So you gotta have that in the conversation. I don't know why I picked this one out. Maybe it's because I do love that song, Freak Like Me by Adina Howard. That's really the only great track in my mind off of this CD, but it was one that I really loved back in the day, and great dance track. Or track to dance to. It's not necessarily a dance track, but now this was another group I think that really kept R&B strong back in the mid-90s, early to mid-90s, which was Jodeci. I liked them much better before they broke up and became Joe and Casey or whatever that was. But as Jodeci, those first two albums they put out, which was what's the name of the other one? I got it right over there. I can't remember, but their first album, their debut album, and this one here, which is Diary of a Mad Band. I mean, there is some great harmonizing, just, I mean, really nice R&B tracks on this album. So a great CD to have. And arguably probably one of my top favorite R&B songs, if you classify it as R&B/dance or whatever, but I think more so R&B, that came from the mid-late 90s on, goes back to Mark Morrison's Return of the Mac. I mean, I think that is a perfect track in my mind. I mean, very simple, but just a great track to either sing to, dance to, or whatever else. But one of my favorites without question. So again, that's basically what I have to show there. Like I mentioned before, that's not a genre or area that I'm, just like I get so excited about or anything, but definitely a few things that I like, and just thought I'd share those as well. All right, so part 3. Thanks again, VC, and we will talk to you guys soon.